I had a very angry race as a Ferrari fan.
Hey, what's up, you guys? It's Lauren.
This is Tess.
And we're the Grid Sisters. Welcome back to episode 6 of the Grid Sisters podcast. Today, we're going to be chatting all things Hungarian GP. We also ask you to stay tuned through the summer break because we have a really fun segment coming up where we are hopefully going to be coming out with a new episode every day for you guys in our segment called All Gas, No Summer Breaks.
Such a good name, Lauren. You did such a good job there.
Thank you. Honestly, you would have thought the pop culture princess would have come up with that, but
nah, you were on that with the name.
Sometimes I have a good idea.
Sometimes.
For this last episode, we are going to be going through our normal segments. So we are going to jump right into podium points, follow with race weekend wrap up, and then we have our pop culture princess coming at you. Let's get into it.
Excited. Okay, jumping into podium points. I'm going to go from the bottom of mine. So we're starting with my number 3. It's okay. It's kind of controversial as a Ferrari fan, but I'm also a low-key Max fan. I know it doesn't make any sense, whatever. So my number 3 is actually Max in the post-race interview with George and Lewis, the press conference, saying he's super glad that the Mercedes are competitive now because now they can steal points from Ferrari, make his championship easier. And then along with the Max point is his little spin, his championship donuts with 28 laps to go in the middle of the race. Yeah, so Max gets a point for me. He's my 3rd place. Then number 2 is Daniel's little move on the Alpines. Love it. So good. Like
I literally have in my notes Daniel's cheeky move. That was all Daniel coming back.
I have dreams of one day watching a race.
His radio after "Let's go."
Yes, it's like he really felt like himself again. You know, and then the rest of the race didn't go too great for him, but it was amazing to watch. All I want in the world is for Daniel Ricciardo to have success. That's all. And then my number 1, it's pretty obvious. Like, I feel like this is probably most people's number 1 thing of the weekend is George Russell sitting on pole for qualifying. Is so good. So yeah, those are my podium points. That's a point for Daniel, a point for George, and a point for Max. No team points. Sorry.
No team points from you.
No.
Ooh, okay.
I mean, if I could give Hannah at Red Bull a point, I would, but no.
Just Hannah.
Just Hannah.
I think we should make a subsection of like Red Bull just for Hannah.
For sure.
We're all about women supporting women.
Yes. Oh, I have a whole rant about Red Bull versus Ferrari in this aspect. We can get to that during the rundown.
Love that. Can't wait. Okay. My podium points are starting at number 3. So my number 3 was actually a tie. I had, and this is a very bittersweet one, but it was Sebastian Vettel announcing his retirement on social media. And it's bittersweet. I'm not happy he's announcing his retirement.
Yeah.
Like, it's so sad for me because he's I've watched him for the past 8 years. And he's brought so much to the sport, just like they've all said. But it was like just such a Seb way to go out. I'm going to create a social media and then I'm announcing that I'm retired.
Just to put out a dramatic black and white video of me leaving.
Yes. So that's tied with, and not to downplay it at all, Sergio Perez's sneezes over team radio during practice. I was cackling. I watch it from my bed. Like, I just sit in bed and watch it. I was cackling in my bed watching Sergio Perez go.
It's so funny. like on the radio, sneezing, no explanation.
And everyone in the commentary box is like, do you think he pushed that button on accident, or like, does he want them to know he's sneezing?
Yeah, like there's no explanation for why he was on the radio to sneeze at all. I mean, he said something about like, oh, allergies around here or like something. And I'm like, what? Whatever.
And then number 2 for me is Max finding his way back from P10 to P1. What a hell of a drive, and a respectful drive too. I don't feel like there's any point from Max in this entire race where I'm like,
it was a very good race.
Good, clean drive, and credit where credit's due. He did a great job. Red Bull had some fantastic pit stops and really good strategy this weekend. So have to give them that. Yeah. Wow. Just wow. All around wow. So 2 for that. And then number 1 for me was also George with his first pole position. Such a huge George Russell fan. And I was just so excited. You could just see it in his face. It was like the most pure joy and elation. And I wasn't, under any impression like, yeah, he's going to go out there and he's just going to win this race without the battle of his life. But he still did really well. And he had a fantastic start too, which goes to show more where this came from with Mr. George Russell. And his first race win is in the future here somewhere. Okay.
Yeah, definitely.
Feel it. I can feel it. So yes, for me, that is a point for George, and I'm giving a point to Mercedes because they did actually end up putting both of them on the podium. So that's good strategy from them.
Mercedes had a really clean weekend.
They did. We love a good clean weekend. That is a point to Max, and I have to give it to Red Bull too, just because clean pit stops as well. No errors, good strategy all around. And then 1 point for Seb and 1 point for Sergio. I'm gonna just give driver points there.
Nice. If I could give negative points specifically to objects, it would be the hard tire.
I think most of us would agree on that this weekend.
Yeah, I think it was the cause of most of our problems.
We'll get into that later.
Oh, we'll get into it.
Oh, that's coming up. Oh, and on that hard tire, let's get into race weekend wrap up.
Yeah.
Okay, starting off with free practice 1. And if you see me looking right here, I got my notes up on my screen right here. Check out our Instagram. You can see the BTS of my setup for podcast weekend on our story.
Nice.
So, race weekend wrap up. Let's jump into it. Free practice 1. Some of my points. Aston Martin, new rear wing. They're testing out what the commentators called it sausage sides. They actually just look like little armchairs on the side, but it just changes the direction of the airflow, increases downforce. We heard the term dirty downforce a lot this weekend. Essentially what that means is you just put as much downforce on the car as you possibly can by any means possible while maintaining, all of the regulations and everything like that. But you might sacrifice speed. So it's, that trade-off, but you're less worried about speed, more worried about downforce. So for anyone that was curious or confused about that. So other than Aston Martin's new rear wing, during FP1, the track they call it green. And essentially what that means is just that the Hungary ring actually doesn't get used super, super frequently. It's not like Silverstone where it seems like there's a race there, every weekend, if not every couple weekends or something like that.
Yeah.
So all that means is just that the track's a little bit slipperier. There's going to be more dirt, dust, debris. There's not rubber down and all that type of thing to give that good grip. That does increase over the weekend, especially since they have things like, I believe F2 was racing there this weekend, as well as the W series.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Fernando's 41st birthday was on Friday. Happy birthday, Fernando Alonso.
We'll talk about you
quite
later.
entertaining this season.
Oh, for sure.
And then most teams with FP1 were racing a lot of extra aerodynamic sensors, gathering a lot of info, which is really essential and really important at this point in the season. I think the main hope is that they can get more info and more strategy coming out of summer break, even though they won't be in factory. There's nothing against the aerodynamic engineers taking their laptop home and doing a little WIH without jumping on the server. So Sergio sneezing, that was, in there. And then the other point I have is Robert
Kubica.
I hate that I always mispronounce his name. I need to just look it up. I'm really sorry, Robert. But he went out for Alfa Romeo again. So I believe Alfa Romeo has done there too. So then in FP2, some of my notes were Sebastian Vettel's Lego helmet. Did you see that? It was awesome. It was
I love
so
his helmet.
cute. I'm not the biggest Lego nerd, but I always love people that love Legos, and I'm always jealous of people that can put together the F1 Lego cars. I would not have the patience, but they look so cool.
Oh my gosh, the cute the McLaren one. I love it.
Okay. And then the other thing that was it threw me off this weekend was that FP1 and FP2, there was no good indicator of what the race was going to look like. You're getting good information and data on the cars, but the track temperatures were so much hotter on Friday comparatively to the race.
Even to Saturday?
Yeah, even to Saturday with, the huge downpour of rain beforehand, that we're seeing, teams like Ferrari putting cars on hard tires on.
I can't even
and they
talk
can't
about
even
it yet.
get heat into the tires. Anyways, so the one thing I will say out of FP2 that I was super, super excited about was Lando with a crazy fast lap. I think he was in P1 for a second, and I was like, let's go, Lando.
Lando is the one. Let's go, Lando. I don't know the rest of the words.
Oh, I feel like we really should.
FP3, I believe it downpoured. Pouring rain. And Gotifi had a moment, I'm pretty sure. So
yeah, I did see Gotifi took it in FP1.
Yeah, so on F1's actual website, it says Nicholas Latifi set a towering benchmark for Williams in a soaked FP3 session in Hungary, leaving Charles Leclerc second by 0.661 seconds, and the other Williams, Alex Albon, third by 0.901 seconds to his teammate. Very dramatic.
To point out that 143 compared to the times put down in qualifying, which I believe the fastest was a 117. Now, I think so. I'm not stupid. I know, in the wet, obviously things go a lot slower, but I feel like we're calling him Goat TV for this.
No, Goat TV is the biggest joke of Formula One to me. That's just my personal opinion, but anyway, so yeah, I believe he ended up in P1.
He might not be coming back to Williams next week.
I think he's losing his seat. So yeah, it was kind of a mess. There was spinning. Max was in fourth. He was over 8/10 behind Alex Albon in third at the end of FP3. It was rain. It was mess.
Rain is a mess. What I am excited about is that we didn't see better performances from Carlos and Lando, who are both really good in the wet.
Exactly. And I was actually hoping for rain in the race. I was hoping second half of the race it would be wet.
I love that it shakes everything up and everyone hits their new tires.
And even though the beginning, I guess top 5 wasn't so crazy unheard of, but it wasn't our normal top 5 where it's Charles, Carlos, Max, Checo, and then who's it gonna be? George, or who's it gonna be? Lewis. Woohoo. Maybe Lando, I don't know. But I wish that on a race weekend like that, quali was shaken up a tiny bit due to penalties or Max's mess up with his car and whatever. And I wish it could have rained in the race. It would have been entertaining, and maybe some idiots wouldn't have gone on hard tire because they would have just gone on inters. Okay,
Tess, are you mad?
I'm a little angry. I'm really upset. If anybody who watches this knows what I'm quoting when I say that, then they're the best person ever. I'm really upset. It's Harry Styles, in case you're wondering. Fernando Alonso was the first driver to don inners during FP3. There were a lot of saves. Lando finished 8th.
Sorry, didn't Vettel put it into the wall on accident?
Yes. So Lando finished 8th.
Okay.
And he was the fastest lap on inters, obviously. Our little rain boy. And then Seb, he finished 9th, but he crashed on turn 10.
We did get to see, though, mechanic Sebastian Vettel in there. Listen,
yes,
this is
we did.
This is what I love about Sebastian Vettel, okay? Is team player is like the entire culmination of everything Sebastian Vettel is as a human, because he's literally sitting there feeding the line for the hydraulic fluid for his mechanic. Like,
he's running to the back, getting a new number 5 sticker. He's like, guys, I'm ready.
I love this. A new career.
I love Crofty's yeah, exactly. Crofty's commentary where he's like, for all we know, he might have slowed him down, but at least he's helping. I'm like, Crofty, you don't have to dog on him like that.
I know.
It's like
he's an extremely overpaid mechanic, though, you know, exactly. If he were to be.
It's like when they call Alonso a wily old fox. I'm like, you don't have to say it every time you see him. It's okay. You're a wily old fox, Crofty. That was FP3. How you
really feel, Tess.
On to quali.
Let's start with Q1 for qualifying. Mercedes topping Q1, granted with brand new tires versus Red Bull and Ferrari on used, but it was great to see.
It was good.
Vettel not getting out of Q1 for the first time since 2011. Pain. Like, that was just painful. I'm sorry.
I'm like, really? After the announcement this weekend, Aston Martin, you can get it together.
My theory is that there may have been something off about the car
that hadn't been fully fixed.
Like, it's operational, it's good to go, but like, it's not performing top tier. This is a random one, but darkest rain cloud literally ever, just looming in the sky over qualifying. And it actually reminded me of some of our like monsoon clouds and like the haboob clouds you get back in Arizona. Yeah. Just massive rain clouds. If you've never been to Arizona, we have monsoon season, and just, it was reminiscent. Anyways. All right. Last thought from Q1, Latifi screwing himself into the last corner. Nobody is surprised by that. And Latifi did not get out of Q1. Nobody's surprised by that fact either.
Nobody's surprised. Though everyone was like, seriously, Latifi, you were freaking P1 in FP3. You go into quali in the wall. Don't even make it out. Like, everyone's like, you know what? We call you Latifi for a reason. You are the greatest of all time at being the worst, personally. That's why I think they call him the GOAT, but that's just me.
That's hilarious. I like that.
I'm so sorry. Like, genuinely, I think that there are like Nicholas Latifi fans somewhere in the world. And I just literally all I do on this podcast is roast him, and I'm so sorry. I'll try to be better. I don't know what to tell you. If he just drove better.
Somebody's going to call you out eventually and be like, what's with the Latifi slander?
I'm going to be like, well, you're missing the Esteban Ocon slander and the Lance Stroll slander. So are you listening to me?
This is like, I slander them all. I don't understand the Esteban Ocon slander. He's not that bad.
There is something about this man. He's evil, I swear. He is a criminal mastermind. He is a thief. He is an assassin. I don't know. Lauren, there's something evil about
too much Criminal Minds.
No, I stopped watching it.
Because you couldn't sleep at night because it got hella scary.
No, but I have been watching Stranger Things, and I have to say, it also makes me think a lot of people are untrustworthy. Oh my goodness.
See, I can't watch
Especially Esteban Ocon.
Okay. Back to Q2. Let's go. We had massive temperature fluctuations throughout the entire thing. Track temps one temperature one corner, another temperature another corner. But again, with the dark big rain cloud that's just looming and threatening over. So Lando Norris having the weekend of his life, the qualifying of his life right here. It was chef's kiss, beautiful lap time. I think he was holding P2 for like a good portion of Q2.
Lando said, it's Friday, then it's Saturday, Sunday. What?
This, maybe not everybody will agree with me, but I think track limits made qualifying more interesting because people put in this hell of a lap time. And you're like, oh my gosh. And then it gets deleted for track limits.
There's a lot of deleted lap times again.
Yep. But the first lap time of the year was reinstated, and that was Sergio Perez.
So at least we know it's possible if they can go in and check.
Into Q3. This is what I saw. Okay. In the order I saw it. So keep in mind, this is from the beginning.
I'm ready.
Russell with a great lap on used tires. That was the exact note. Sainz looking better.
Sainz looking better, period.
And then Verstappen, power issues.
I love these as they're happening notes. This is so good. Keep going.
And then in all caps, Russell on pole, his first pole. I'm so excited. I'd like jumped on the bed a little bit like a teenager. Yeah. Big celebrations for George.
Also, if anybody wanted to see Lauren's cute post that she made for George getting pole on her Instagram, it inspired my post that I made for our podium. So George, as I was watching qualifying, I was like, oh my gosh, Carlos does it again. Carlos is, I've re-nicknamed him Scary Signs. Because sometimes I'm like the way he is really coming for Charles' throat lately. I'm like, whoa, you're scaring me a little. Or he drives. Oh, I agree. He's driving so fast in quali. I'm like, you good, bro? Are you good? Genuinely, I'm curious. Are you good?
I think he's good. I just think he wants to be number one.
I understand. And so, yeah, he's Scary Signs, and he was definitely Scary Signs on Saturday. And he put in that lap time. He was like, yes, I'm ahead of my teammate. 2 seconds later, George Russell right in front, pole. And he was probably like, so I beat Charles, but I've lost the war.
I won the battle, but I lost the war.
Yes.
Well, you want to know what's crazy too about George Russell's pole? First of all, George wasn't expecting it. Second of all,
no purple sectors.
Not a single purple sector. Just a perfect lap.
Just perfect top to bottom. Perfect personal best in every single sector lap. Perfect.
I'm excited about it. I want a 3-way fight for number one because that makes it exciting. Then you're is it going to be Charles? Is it going to be Carlos? Is it going to be Max? Is it going to be Sergio? Is it going to be George? Is it going to be George's first one? Or is it going to be Lewis again?
Well, I don't know. I think Checo's having a rough month.
Yeah, can we just touch on that for a second? Because actually,
I have a meme about it.
Bad for Checo.
I got a meme about
it. His entire weekend was rough. Hopefully he's not sick. If he is sneezing like that.
Yeah.
He's not sick, but
I'm not really sure what it is. But I do have a meme that's very classic Red Bull. I'll actually just share it here instead of waiting really quick because it fits.
I'll insert it.
It's an AlphaTauri car, and it says leaked spa upgrade for Perez. Classic Red Bull demoting. So let's hope Checo's safe. I don't know.
I think Checo has proven himself to the point and he's also signed his contract already.
I know. But I mean, I think about people like Pierre Gasly signed his contract already. They just canceled it, kicked him out.
Yeah. I feel really bad for Checo, but I do think he's safe because I think everyone knows he has the ability. I think there's either
he's proven himself a lot more,
or he's a little bit in the Lewis Hamilton at the beginning of the year situation where maybe they're testing things on Sergio's car and we just don't know it yet.
Yeah. I mean, I think that
They might be testing.
there's definitely a
different
bunch of reasons
strategy
people
on
are
his car.
just,
yeah.
but yeah, I just thought that one was funny. But yeah, no, I think Checo's safe. I think
agree.
he proved himself multiple times last year and this year.
I would agree with that.
But yeah, I definitely feel bad for him.
Jump into the race.
Okay.
I mean, I can keep going with my thought by thought process.
I'd love it.
You just interject, okay?
I'm in it. Go.
We had a good start from George. His tires were probably a little cooler than he would have wanted, but he was in the front, and everyone in the back was like, "I'm a dig maggot, sweet time." Don't worry, George. It's your first pole position start, so none of us are gonna hold that against you.
Unless they're gonna get on you about that.
Great, and you had the soft tires. So you had a great getaway. Good start for Lewis as well. Made up a lot of ground there. I believe Max did as well. They all had really good starts. So very happy about that. Good job on the restart. We had a little bit of a collision between, I believe it was Vettel and Alex. Yes, Vettel and Alex. So we had a VSC virtual safety car till lap 3. It was
something like that. No one had to retire, so it was fine.
Nobody had to retire. It was a very low key kind of incident. And nobody got a penalty for it either. Okay. Max Verstappen made passing look easy at times on a track that is historically not easy to pass on.
It is Monaco without the sidewalls.
Yes, so it's not as hard as passing on Monaco because you have less consequences.
Yeah.
If you do get pushed off the track. But he just made it look easy. Like it was like, thank you very much. I'll take that. Orlando. Was the thought I had. He was doing so well.
All I kept saying to like my friends that I was texting when I was watching, I was like, oh my gosh, I just need everybody to crash so Lando can win.
That's horrible.
Like also- I was like, you know what? Like I obviously want the Ferraris to do well. Like Ferrari championship lead is what I need. I'm a Ferrari fan. Give it to me, please.
Yeah.
But I was like, if the Ferraris have to go for Lando to be on the podium, I might be okay this week. I don't know.
Where do your loyalties truly lie, Tess?
With McLaren, always. If McLaren is even close to being like podium available, I'm like, any other team I like, get out of the way right now. Like,
I want a McLaren podium.
Yes, always. I can't even explain the way that I will cry when Lando gets his first win. I cried when Carlos got his first win. So
you know what? Maybe it'll be a season of firsts, okay? Maybe they'll come back after the break and just have everyone beat.
That would be literally my dream.
In the same vein, we had Ricardo saying thank you very much as he zoomed past the Alpines who were fighting. There is some tension there.
Well, maybe the tension was that Fernando Alonso was leaving.
Potentially. I also think Fernando Alonso wants team orders and Alpine is like, yeah, no.
Yeah, they're like, sorry, we're not really that kind of team right now.
They're like, I think you might.
But also like Esteban was being kind of a brat.
Oh yeah, he was. But that's also,
But that's also because Esteban Ocon is a criminal who's an assassin. Okay, I don't know what to tell you.
Oh my gosh. No, he's not.
He's a jewel thief. I don't know.
What do you think this is? Ocean's 11?
He's Pink Panther and he just drives an F1 car. Like you know how Carlos says, yeah, I'm a limousine chauffeur. I just drive this car on the weekends. And Lando says, yeah, I'm an amateur golfer. Esteban Ocon says, yeah, I'm a criminal. And I just drive this car on the weekends.
He's never said that.
No, but I think that's the truth.
Oh, okay.
And he proved it to me with his little bratty attitude with Fernando.
Whatever.
Alonso.
It doesn't matter at this point. But really quick interjection. What I think is so stupid about Fernando Alonso's switch, which if you haven't heard the news yet, Fernando Alonso is going to
Aston Martin, he will be taking Sebastian Vettel's seat.
So Fernando Alonso will be taking Sebastian Vettel's seat at Aston Martin. What I think is stupid about this is that Aston Martin does have team orders, and Fernando Alonso will never be the number one driver there because of Lance Stroll. His dad owns the team. You're not going to like be number one.
I think that the hard thing though is that it's very clear that Lance Stroll is like a mid driver. Like he sucks. Like in a lot of ways, like sure, you could say like he drives well enough to be a Formula One driver. We know why he's there. It's because his daddy bought a seat, obviously. But
here's the thing though, like there's nothing like special about him.
Exactly. There's no like that's so signature to him besides like crashing. I don't know. Or like
we have a friend, Tanner, who actually doesn't hate Lance Stroll.
I don't understand why.
Also, really quick interjection. Have you seen Lawrence Stroll's boat? That thing's freaking huge.
Yeah, they rode into Monaco. They're like, this is where we're staying on our yacht.
I mean, if I had a yacht that big, that's where I'd stay too. I have a quick interjection here. Why do all of Ferrari's radios sound like they're talking underwater? Every time I hear the Ferrari radio come across, even when Matteo Binotto is talking to the commentators because he's on this weekend, why does he sound like he's talking underwater like this? I don't
know, because it's not that the drivers are necessarily like significantly worse than other drivers. It's the pit wall. Like they literally sound like they're talking like this.
But in that same breath, every time you hear Charles or Carlos over the whatever versus like Lando and Daniel.
Yeah.
And even like the Mercedes team and Matt and Red Bull, you can't understand a single word. And this has nothing to do with accents. It has absolutely not a single thing to do with accents, because I can understand Sergio Perez over the team radio, but Charles and Carlos and all of the other ones all sound.
I guess, yeah, especially if like I think about even Daniel over the radio where he says, yep, understood. Mm-hmm. Or like when like it sounds clear as day. Yeah. Or when Max says like, no power, this isn't working. It sounds clear as day.
Or when Sergio's having a problem, clear as day.
His sneezes were clear as day.
I felt like I was sitting next to him. Crystal.
So yeah, I'm not really sure, but I agree.
I'm just really curious as to what microphone technology they're using, because it seems like they're a little behind. Maybe that's one of the reasons they're having issues. But anyways, what an exciting race, because I don't think anyone was safe this entire race. Like,
no, it didn't feel that way at all.
Every position changed hands like 18 times.
I seriously felt like I never knew who was going to win like the whole time. And I love a race like that. It was really exciting.
This race is going to be featured so heavily in Drive to Survive. This race and
definitely.
We're going to see so much of it in Drive to Survive. Oh, my goodness.
Definitely.
Okay.
Should we talk tires?
Ready, go. Tires. My exact note was in all caps. Hard compound tires, question mark, exclamation point, question mark, question mark, question mark.
Yes, 100%. We see that I believe who started on hard tires? Kevin Magnussen? Or maybe he pitted early and went to hard. Alpines, I don't know if they started on hard or pitted early and went to hard.
Alpine started on medium and then pitted for hard tires. We're doing terribly. Literally everyone's looking at their data. And for some reason, Ferrari's like, no, we're paying for hard tires.
So we have.
And they had to change compounds. So it was either hard tires or soft tires, because they had already used two sets of mediums, I believe.
This is how I'm feeling. First of all,
tell me how you feel, Tess.
First of all, Ferrari's strategy was slightly trash. I'm getting really into it. If you watch the video format of this, Ferrari's strategy was extremely trash this weekend. I understand that they had two new mediums and they had to switch to a separate compound, but why would you go medium, medium, hard? And you saw that it was a mistake, especially after you should have seen it was a mistake before you even did it, because of Alpine.
And then pitted again for soft tires.
and then pitted again for soft tires. And also Carlos went on soft. Like it worked, but it was just too late at this point. You lost your undercut chance. Everything was messed up. Like I just like it was so bad that Mattia Binotto walked away from the pit wall. He went to his motorhome. And then he had to come back. But what I have to say is when there is clear data from the other teams saying hard tires are not working for anybody.
Hard tires are not the vibe. If you speak
They are not
Gypsy.
working. The track temperatures were not cohesive with the hard tire compound. It is clear on the data. Why would you pit Charles Leclerc and put hard tires on rather than just extending his medium tire stint and going on softs? That is the most frustrating thing ever. I'm so sorry. It makes me so angry. And they just continue to shoot themselves in the foot. They're ruining their own championship. And they're lying to everybody about it after.
Ferrari is their own worst enemy.
They are the biggest gaslighters in Formula One. Okay. I'm so serious. They're like
gaslight girl boss gatekeep. Let's go.
They are messing everything up. And then they're like, we have it all under control. It was just really an unfortunate weekend. We just need to put some things together, you know? And we're like, your pit wall is clowns. Hire a new strategy team. And this was the point I was going to get to earlier. Maybe some women. Do they have any women? Do they have any women on their pit wall, on their strategy team? Any women? Because
I actually think we should look this up.
Because Hannah is the reason that I think Max won that race. And he called her out and said, Hannah won me this race, guys. Hannah's strategy was incredible this week.
Look, I have to give it to Max too. Even his radio message back to Christian was a humble, like, great job team. Like, this was a team effort, which I feel like there's times when we haven't seen that from Max before. And I have to give it to Max. It was a great thing to see.
Yeah, I agree. I like that Max wasn't like, just as we expected to win. It was like, I'm really glad we could come back from 10th, guys. Great race, great strategy from the team. Thanks. Like, yeah, that's exactly what, like, it's moments like that where I'm like, Max can be this person. People just choose not to listen.
Yeah,
when he is this person.
It's much easier to villainize someone than it is to glorify in a lot of ways. It's the same way people want to vilify Lewis Hamilton instead of glorifying. When in reality, everyone's a person. Everyone has good. Everyone has bad. Some people a little bit more bad than good, according to Tess, who thinks Esteban Ocon's a criminal.
I don't know what to tell you. He's an assassin, a criminal, a jewel thief. I have nothing to say. A bank robber. Who knows? So
you have to go watch. Sorry. Interjection. If you're listening to this podcast, you have to go watch the YouTube version of this just to see the facial expressions that Tess just made.
Okay, Max wins. Lewis gets second after passing George because he had fresher tires. George is third. Everybody's super grateful. Great drive from Mercedes and Red Bull. Okay.
Haas and then going on the hards even after all of this, and McLaren, when they both put them on hards, even after seeing Ferrari struggle, that cost them dearly.
Because it was Daniel they put on hards, right? And
Lando. Haas was in point scoring position and then pitted and put hards on, and I think they finished in like 14 and 15.
Well, it's because this weekend they were the white Ferrari, Lauren. They had to make the same mistakes. They had to follow.
This is very unfortunate. Summer.
Yeah, I really don't know why McLaren did that unless they were like, these are the tires we got, guys. I have no idea. I'd love to figure that out.
Like, I don't know. I'm sure if you've been on Instagram, F1 Twitter in any capacity, you've seen Jeremy Clarkson's tweet that's a little bit of an a-hole. No, Jeremy Clarkson is a bit of an a-hole, and you love him for it, but at the same time, you're kind of like,
the one where it's like,
since abusive language in Formula One is no longer allowed, I must say that Ferrari's strategists are absolutely brilliant. And then there's people doing that same thing, but blocking out Ferrari with McLaren and with Haas. So yes, very unfortunate. Hard tires were not the move, and it was at I'm not an F1 race strategist, and even I thought that was a stupid thing to do. So,
I mean, at this
yeah.
rate, I think I could be a better F1 race strategist.
Maybe we should apply.
Maybe we should.
This is our formal application to any team. Ferrari, if you'd like a race strategist, you know what? I do
moved
have
to
a
Italy.
business degree, and Tess is just really intuitive. So,
I'm super intuitive. I have 0 qualifications besides the fact that I'm super smart. A lot smarter than the people who work on your pit wall.
All right.
Smarter than the clowns who currently work there.
Let's jump into our pop culture princess.
Yay. Okay. I got quite a few memes, guys. Okay. I am feeling excited about these memes because I'm feeling angry at Ferrari. So the first one, Lauren's going to be putting all of these onto our video format. It is, I'll just turn them though so you can see it. That is Mattia Binotto in a frame saying Red Bull Racing Employee of the Month.
No.
Winning their championship for them.
No.
This one's also my favorite because they have them in Mattia Binotto's little Harry Potter glasses. And it says, Ferrari, how to lose a race in 10 laps. Yeah, it's good stuff. This one is Binotto walking away after the devastation that was the hard tires. And it says, Binotto heading to exile, knowing there will be an arrest warrant in Italy for him after today's race. Also, this meme refers to Max Verstappen as Giga Chad. He's like a Chad, but he's a Giga Chad.
Okay, you're gonna have to explain. I'm a little too millennial for this. What does that mean?
Okay, so a Chad. Do you know what like a Chad is? It's like
a frat
like
bro?
like a Chad. Like, oh my gosh, she's such a Chad. Or like whatever.
It's kind of like basic, like entitled white boy energy. Like Chad.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
Chad.
Okay.
So he's a Giga Chad, like a mega Chad.
Okay.
A Giga Chad. Okay. So it says Giga Chad doing victory donuts with 28 laps to go. So this is another one about Mattia walking out. It says Mattia, after formulating the worst strategy thinkable, I'm a head out. Here's another Max one, and I'll cover half of it. It's Max like giving a thumbs up with the circuit, and then it's Max looking sad with the check engine light, which was him in quali. We talked about this. George Russell is the type of guy who gets pole position without any purple sectors. This one's good. It's a Godzilla versus Kong. And it's Leclerc and Sainz, and then it's Russell is the one little dog with a bat.
The Doge dog with the baseball bat.
That is George Russell.
That 100%. I think was one of my favorites.
This one too. It's Alonso minding his business. Crofty. Here comes the wily old fox. This one is 2012. Michael Jensen, Kimi, Seb, Lewis, Fernando. 2050. Fernando. Like he'll still be in Formula One. They'll all be dead.
Oh my god.
This is another amazing one. Seb joining Instagram and discovering that Lewis pretends to be his dog, and it's Charles with question marks. He's like, I'm sorry, what? You just add S's to everything and pretend you're your dog? Okay. So those were my favorites. And then I actually have a favorite team post, which is actually like super random. It's Red Bull's Instagram reel. And it's just little like tiny video clips that they have of the whole weekend. But Max was on one with his humor this weekend. He is so funny in this video. I'm literally sending it to you right now, Lauren, so you can watch it right after if you haven't seen it. It's so funny. I don't know what my deal was. I watched this and I cackled out loud. So yeah, that's my probably favorite Instagram things.
Any other pop culture moments you want to round up for us?
I mean, obviously, Seb is leaving.
Yeah.
That's kind of a big moment. Fernando's switching, big moment. We can do a whole all gas, no summer breaks episode
about these summer sillies and an all gas, no summer breaks episode.
Oh, I forgot the last, one of my last favorite things was actually Mercedes post for the podium, and it's the Spider-Man post. And it's like the two Spider-Mans both have trophies and they're pointing at each other and they have Mercedes heads. But it's for Formula E. And so it goes, you get a podium and you get a podium. Everybody gets a podium and they're pointing at each other. So
one of my favorite moments from the week, if I may interject, was Lewis giving a massive shout out to the W Series on his Instagram. We love to see the drivers support women's sports, support women's racing. George and Lewis have both been very outspoken about it. So has Seb, so have quite a few of the drivers actually. And I love to see it. I love to see that support. It seems like all of them are really like opening and welcoming it with open arms, which is exactly what we want. We want these women to be able to make connections and get into Formula One. That's what we want to see. And I'm really excited about that.
They do have to make the strong team connections that will bring them into F3 and F2 so that they can get into F1.
We are going to try and do one every week of break, at least 5 per week. Even, normal people need weekends off.
That's the goal.
So stay tuned for all gas, no summer breaks. All right, guys, stay tuned for more this week as we go into all gas, no summer breaks. Thank you so much for watching. We are so excited for the rest of the summer break to come. If you have anything you want us to talk about, Tech Tuesday, trading, drivers, all of that, send us a DM on Instagram, comment on one of our Instagrams. Let us know what you want to see. We're so excited to do this. And we will see you guys in the next episode.
Yeah, check us out on Instagram at The Grid Sisters, TikTok at Grid Sisters, and we should have this episode up on YouTube at Grid Sisters.
Yeah.
So it should be our first video format episode. We're really excited. Also check us out on TikTok at Grid Sisters or That Grid Sisters. Either one. It's always one or the other. Okay.
All right, guys, on that bombshell, it is time for us to end. Hope y'all have an amazing week. We'll see you later this week with more episodes. Bye.
Bye.